Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Philly Fast Break podcast. My name is Sean Kennedy with Philly Fast Break. On the line with me is our NFL handicapper, Dan Erda. Before I welcome Dan on, I do want to thank our sponsor, JoannaPlatt.com. That's Joanna-Platt.com. It's for all your life and relationship coaching needs. One person that might need some life coaching right now is Hugh Jackson. He's the first NFL coach fired after the Browns went 2-5-1 this season, but more importantly, 1-31 over the previous two seasons. So maybe he could check out JoannaPlatt.com and see what he wants to do going forward with his life. Get a little coaching there. All right, so thank you to JoannaPlatt.com, and thank you to Dan, who is on the line with us. Dan, how are you doing? Tough week for you in week 8, huh?
Yeah, it was brutal. I mean, I was due for an off week, but it was really bad. I can't even tell you how many facets Todd Gurley killed me in by not running into the end zone. He actually didn't affect the line that I had when we taped the podcast last week, but by the time I actually put the bet in at my site, it was down to an 8.5 point spread. So it wouldn't have done anything for my record on the podcast, but for my bankroll, it would have helped. And he also screwed me on a bunch of fantasy teams and a bunch of daily. But other than that, there's really not too many excuses. The picks I made were not the teams did not play very well.
Yeah, 1-4 week for you. You did get another your teaser in, so that is still alive. But yeah, 1-4 week. I guess a little regression was due eventually. I went 1-0-1.
Nice job.
Yeah, I'll take that every week. That's fine. And more importantly, I won our lunch wager with Green Bay plus 9.5. So I'll take that anytime I can get it. Free lunch is as I said in Vegas, the first time we went, free lunch and I'm happy. That's all I really need. So pleased about that.
You said dollar menu, right? That's where the limit's like a $4 limit on the McDonald's dollar menu or something.
I thought it was anything I can Grubhub.
Oh, anything you can Grubhub?
No, I don't know. We'll figure that out at a later time. But
we'll have to do a live in-person podcast sometime in the coming weeks.
There you go. So we're also pleased about the big news today, Dan. Did you see the big news in the Philadelphia area that it relates to our podcast?
What would that big news be?
That is, sports betting is now legal in Pennsylvania, and it will be available at Sugar House Casino in Philadelphia starting December 1st.
Man, I did not get that news yet. I guess I took a rare couple hours off Twitter, and this is what happens.
Yep, it is going to be available at Sugar House and Harris Casino in Chester, and also a Rivers Casino out in Pittsburgh are the first three that will have it available. So only a matter of time before it's on our mobile phones and people are betting in arenas while they're watching the games live. But for now, we have some casinos in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia that will allow us to legally bet on sports. So people can finally take our advice and actually place bets because we know they weren't doing it before.
Well, I think everyone has a friend who lives out in Vegas, so they would call every week and have them do it for them.
Yeah, and lately Jersey, so
yeah,
that was a little easier. We would just drive over to Bridge to make the legal wagers, as opposed to having to call Vegas. So yeah, exciting stuff. So I'm looking forward to December rolling around. We'll be able to, check that out over at Sugar House, and hopefully we still have a good idea of what we're talking about with these games, and we will actually win some legal money. That'd be great.
Great. All these imaginary dollars I've won so far this year are nice, but we can't do anything with the imaginary dollars.
Yeah, it just gives you an imaginary sense of pride.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that'll be great. December 1st, available at Sugar House Casino in Philadelphia. But for now, we still have games to handicap. So let's dive into our Week 9 plays. We are talking a little bit off air how not the best card this week, not a ton of plays that we liked, but I think we each have two. So we'll go back and forth here. And Dan, what is your first play for Week 9?
First play is an over. I like Tampa Bay at Carolina over 55. I think Tampa Bay's offense goes so much smoother with Fitzpatrick behind center, and he will be behind center in Carolina. Carolina is probably one of my favorite offenses of the week. I will be playing a lot of their players in daily. I think they're just going to be able to have a field day against Tampa Bay here. I think this is like a 34-25 kind of game. 55 is a very high total. It opened at 54. It's been bet up 1 point. But I think this is going to be one of those games where like all the fantasy players are going to be relevant. All the receivers on Tampa Bay, Christian McCaffrey, absolutely. Carolina's offense is starting to incorporate DJ Moore even more, and it's looking like a very good thing. I think it's going to be a shootout. Last week, a lot of undersit, but I think that's a blip. I think when you average it out, apparently the total number of points scored per game isn't that high. But I think a lot of that's just because the teams like the Bills and the Jets are just scoring so low, they're bringing it all down. So some of these teams you can count on for a lot of points, and Tampa Bay seems to be in a shootout every week.
Yeah, I mean, they have one of the worst defenses in the league and one of the best offenses, and Peyton Barber's been a little better recent weeks, but they really don't have much of a running game, so they're basically airing it out all game. So that's leading to some high point totals. The one thing my counter argument would be if Fitzpatrick it can be known to be turnover prone. So I know it could work out like, hey, a pick six is points, that could help you out. But even if it's just like a turnover and Carolina takes over, I feel like if they got a little bit of a lead, they might lean on the running game some more. And, with Cam and McCaffrey, they have a good running game. They'd be able to control the clock. So that'd be my only concern is if they try to just like wind the clock down through the rushing attack if they get a little bit of a lead here, which
Sean, you cannot. A 24-point lead is not safe with Ryan Fitzpatrick behind center. Did you watch the games last week?
I did, yeah. So, yeah, that's true. But I don't know if Carolina's defense would have the same type of trouble in preventing that sort of comeback as Cincinnati's did. Cincinnati has been one of the worst pass defenses in the league this year. Carolina, they've been a little inconsistent, but I think on the whole they're a pretty good defense. So that'd be my only thing is you're basically counting on Carolina to score 30, and I don't know if their offense is necessarily constructed that their goal is to score 30 every week. I think they do like a little bit more ball control, so I could see them being happy with like a 24-17 type game or something, or 20, even like 27-20, something like that. And it's just a really high number that you're getting this line at, which was 55. So, I mean, that's obviously inflated because Tampa plays in the 20s at a minimum every week. So, that's my only. I don't like I said, I don't hate it. That's just my only concern. But yeah. So 55 over in the Tampa Bay Carolina game. That stands first play of Week 9. My first play is also a total, but as is so often the case, I'm going under. I like under 45 in the Miami-New York Jets game. It's Brock Osweiler. It's no longer Brocktober, and it's rookie quarterback in Sam Darnold with no Bilal Powell. He's on IR, so they have Isaiah Crowell, who's been getting somewhere between like 30 and 45 yards rushing the last couple weeks. And they're relying on Trenton Cannon, who's was originally a third string running back, and now he's the backup. They have a lot of injuries at receiver, and I don't see Miami's defense has actually been pretty good this year, so I don't see the Jets scoring a lot of points here. And then it's Osweiler. He's been okay. I think he surprised a lot of people that he hasn't been a complete train wreck, but I don't expect him to light it up here. I think Miami is just going to look to, work Frank Gore and Kenyon Drake as that two-headed running tandem. Just kind of do enough to control the clock and don't let Osweiler have to overextend himself and really do too much where he can get himself into trouble with some of those bad decisions he's known to make. And yeah, I think it's just going to be a low-scoring game. I like the under 45 here. I'm saying like a 20-17 type game.
Yeah. Other than the fact that I just don't like playing unders, especially in the landscape of the game today, other than that, there's really nothing I can say. This is a game where very little talent on offense on either team. The the top receiver on the Jets right now is a guy named Deontay Burnett. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's an undrafted rookie. He did play with Darnold at USC, but when he's the guy who's leading the team in receiving, that's a problem. Yeah, I got no problem with this at all. Just got to be a little bit careful. The Jets can't get any pressure on the quarterback, so they've been over blitzing a significant amount, which is leading them like very prone to the screen pass. So you think they might actually score, or they might give up a couple long plays to Kenny and Drake on those screens. But you're right. I mean, it's Brock Osweiler. I got no problem with this play. I don't have the stomach for unders, but it's definitely the right side.
All right, so under 45 in the Jets-Dolphins game. That's my first play, Week 9. Dan, what's your second and final play for us?
Second and final play, we're going to have to wait all the way to Monday night. I like the Tennessee Titans plus 6.5 at Dallas. You have Dallas in prime time, so inherently you're probably getting a point and a half of value by fading them because they know that the public loves to bet primetime games and the public loves to bet on Dallas. You know, the whole America's team thing, which people still consider them, I guess. The total of this game is 41, which is extremely low, but that shows that it's supposed to be a close game and an almost 7-point spread with a total that low. I'll take the points anytime. And I just don't think Dallas is that good. They've shown a little bit of improvement. They did get Amari Cooper for a first-round pick, and he's had over a week and a half by the time the game starts to get assimilated. But at the same time, how much chemistry can you really get in a week and a half? If anything, it might be a little bit where like they're awkwardly trying to force him the ball to show off their new toy. You know, Jerry Jones is going to want to make a splash. And Tennessee's not great, but they're not terrible. Their defense is fine. And you're getting almost a touchdown here. This is a team that has beaten some good teams. They made the playoffs last year, still a little undervalued. So at almost the touchdown underdog, I'll take them.
I agree with you so much that this was also my second and final play of the week. I also like Tennessee plus 6.5. I agree with everything you said. I would just like to reiterate my Dallas is not a good football team stance that I've stuck with throughout the season and for the most part has paid off for me. I don't care about Amari Cooper, who's had like less than 20 receiving yards in 75% of his games this season. I don't think he's really going to bring that much to the table for them. And even though Tennessee is on a 3-game losing streak, 2 of those 3 losses were by a single point. So they keep games close for the most part. They've had just a couple games where things have gotten away from them this season. For the most part, defense keeps them in it. And as you mentioned, the 41 is the total. So very low scoring game. And I don't think Dallas is good enough to be a 6.5-point favorite against anybody. So I'm right there with you. Also, my second play of the week, Tennessee plus 6.5.
Fun fact, it would have been a 4-game losing streak if the my dog just is barking at something. I was going to say, it would have been I guess he doesn't like the play.
I think you were about to bring up that the Eagles blew a 17-point lead, or no, that was the Carolina. They blew a 4th and 15 in overtime that would have sealed the game against Tennessee. You're about to bring that up, and then Fletcher remembered. And
that was the last time they won a game.
Yeah, he was very upset about it. So
yes, my dog's name is Fletcher after Fletcher Cox. We are a very Eagles-heavy family, so I guess bring back that memory of that game. He didn't like it very much at all.
No, it was a traumatic experience for him, as it was for all of us.
All of us.
So, very understandable on his part. All right, so that'll do it for us. Short slate this week, but as we often talk about, there's no need to force things just to try to get 5 plays every week. This isn't the super contest. You're not filling out a scorecard. You're just trying to make money each and every week with the best plays possible. So for Dan, he has the over in the Carolina-Tampa game, which is 55. I'm taking under 45 in the Miami-New York Jets game, and we both like Tennessee plus 6.5. So call that our best. That's definitely our best bet because we both like that one. So that'll do it. Dan, I know you went out over the weekend for Halloween. We're recording this on Halloween. Did you guys have any trick-or-treaters?
We did. We were downstairs for about 2 hours. Yeah, it was. They were good. The kids in Philly aren't exactly as friendly and as cheerful as the ones in the suburbs when we were little. But yeah, it was a great time. I got in the costume. I dressed like Jason Kelsey at the Super Bowl parade, and I sat outside and gave out the candy for a while. Fletcher came with me in his Eagles jersey, and we had a good time.
There you go. Can't beat
How,
that.
how is it up in your area? Do you guys get a lot?
We I don't give out candy. I gave it out 1 year and I bought about $15 to $20 worth and it was literally gone in about 10 minutes. So I just figured there was no sense in doing that ever again. So we
So you just don't give out candy.
I do not know.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm a Halloween Scrooge, I guess.
That's boo you.
Yeah. Um, no, but they like a couple blocks away from me, they block off the street from cars, and I was walking back from where I parked, and all the kids were out in costumes, so it was a cool scene. I, I don't think they missed my one house. And I live in an apartment building, so there were some of my neighbors out on our steps giving out candy. So
That is the best people.
yeah, they're better in the holiday spirit than I am, I guess. All right. So you can find me at Philly Fast Break on Twitter. Check out phillyfastbreak.com and check out the Patreon at patreon.com/phillyfastbreak. Dan, where can people find you?
I have a weekly column. It'll basically be the same picks, but if you want to see in written form, they post Sunday at thebrandedsports.com. And I'm on Twitter at Eagles_Dan88.
All right. So check him out at the Branded Sports. Sorry, I blanked there. And check him out on Twitter. And those are our picks for this week. Good luck to everyone out there. And good luck patiently waiting for December 1st to roll around so you can actually make these bets legally.
Yep.
All right. Talk to you guys next week.